world changer, coded by the blue storm. My number is 19, the power of all number. I am the master alchemist, the force behind the philosopher's stone. Skilled at the art of transmutation. I am the catalytic transformer of world consciousness and planetary living. I oversee the changes of the weather. I am the thunder that shatters your world systems. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies, It was I who caused the triple aspect monuments of the Avatar archetype to appear in the ancient temple grounds. I oversee the morning and the evening stars. I behold the creator of the fifth sun, the present world. Sent forth am I to dwell among you, calling forth the sixth sun. For the great regeneration of the world's soul, to know me is to know your own power of self-generation. To know me is to know your own power of self-generation. Self-generation is power. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies.
Truly excited about what's to come. We're in a leap year. I call it a quantum leap year. And one of the things that's really powerful is this is also a very significant year as we're in the 441st year of the Gregorian calendar. And this is extremely significant, from the perspective that I'm coming from, for the human. It has a direct path to, and I like to always think, that what we think about expands, but one of the things about it is when we're compartmentalized to systems, we oftentimes are giving what as a result, we are not in the fullness of our mind. So I'm very excited about the time that we're in, and we're going to talk about tonight. I'm already validated, and I don't need approval. So when we go through the archetypes of the galactic kin and the galactic consciousness, we are in a position to really unpack and unfold the consciousness and the abilities that we have access to. So many of you that watch me and listen to me, you hear me talk about we're moving from the information case. We are truly in a position to access use or misusage or no usage at all, right? What did they say? If you don't use it, you lose it. So if we're not used to using our whole brain or all of his consciousness that comes with it, where we're able to be more intentional, can open us up to other realms, other dimensions that can have us have a different experience in this body. Is that making sense what I'm saying? So with that being the case, we are in a position like no other. And I always like to say as well that the Gregorian calendar, according to the evolution of consciousness, position, nature itself need approval, but oftentimes, with depending on where our self-esteem is, we may feel like we need some approval back in the related to the shadow aspect of the archetype for today. So in studying Mayan cosmology, the sun, the solar cycle has 300. Let me just do real quick a sound check. If IG as well as Facebook and YouTube, am I being heard okay? It's a little choppy. Okay. All right. Let's try that. How does that sound? Does that sound a little bit more better? Or is it still cutting in and out? So far, yes. Okay, I had to switch servers. Pardon me, I'm in a different location. So just wanted to make sure. So we're gonna rewind here so we can get to the gist of what we're talking about a little bit. And so for those of you that are on Clubhouse, just follow along as you may or may not have the visual aids that we're working with. But I want you to understand the significance of where it is that we sit. And we are attempting to do something that not only is unpopular, but undesired. And it's called calendar change. And when we get into the depths of calendar, we realize that we need to change our concept of time. And so a lot of us have been really indoctrinated with artificial concepts of time, being a calendar, right? Which is really designed to collect taxes or to track certain aspects of time. And a clock, the consciousness lock. And the reason why this is significant, because the title of our session is I'm already validated, I don't need approval. So I look at it as there's not much for us to learn, but we are on a journey of remembrance. And so once we remember who we are, we don't need approval. Okay, we don't need the approval of someone else to make us feel good so that we can move forward in our life. We can already do that for ourselves. And a lot of what we're talking about in this telepathic age is really the root thoughts of activating the power of God in us. Okay, activating the power of God in us. And so when we study the Mayan and the Olmec cosmology, we are studying the cosmology to see how the galactic Maya developed galactic consciousness from how they follow different calendrical systems. They use them like a synchronometer. Okay, And, a lot of times, how many of you all that are listening really believe that mental illness is real? When we get out here in these streets, we can see that a lot of people are on edge. I mean, just think about your job. A lot of people are worried if their job is going to be able to continue, how they're going to feed their family. It's just a lot of factors. Are their relationships going to work out? What kind of skills? I'm not fulfilled in my job no more. What kind of approach do I need to have in life in order to have peace and tranquility and really experience this thing called life to the fullest? Well, what I'm going to encourage you all to do is to start to get your mind on natural cycles. These are cycles of the cosmos, and it will really truly position you to put your mind, open your mind to all of its faculties. And I say this because scientists say that we have over 100 million years of memory stored in the back of our brain, in our cerebellum. And I talk about this all the time. Now, what on earth could that be used for? Well, I could only say there must be something that we haven't remembered that we need to remember. Am I still coming through clear, everyone? Okay, good. Because I want you to get this. This is not something where you can hurry up and pop in and get it. I want you to get what I'm saying, because if you understand that, how could we accept not using what we got? So when we add in technology and smartphones, we're not able to necessarily use the fullness of our memory. We're using a computer's memory, right? So we're not exercising our own natural faculties. And let me tell you something, that's an issue when we got systems and programming that's seeking to dominate our thought process, that's governing our mental abilities and capabilities. And so when we look at that, I want to, in talking about this topic, when you start governing yourself, practicing self-governance, you're now in a position with this self-governance to validate yourself. Okay, and because of that, now we can have a different kind of experience on the planet and in our day-to-day life. All right, so let's get on into it. I want to start with prayer of the 7 galactic directions. All right. From the light, may wisdom dawn in us, so we may see all things in clarity. From the north, house of night, may wisdom ripen in us, so we may know all from within. From the west, house of night, may wisdom be transformed into right action, do what must be done. From the south, house of the eternal sun, may right action reap the harvest, so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary being. From above, house of heaven, where star people and ancestors gather, may their blessings come to us now. From below, house of earth, may the heartbeat of her crystal core bless us with harmonies to end all war. And from the center, galactic source, which is everywhere at once, may everything be known as the light of mutual love. Ayum Hunaku Eva Maya E Maho. Ayum Hunaku Eva Maya E Maho. Ayum Hunaku Eva Maya E Maho. All hail the harmony of mind and nature. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. All right. So I really like how that prayer brings things into vibrational alignment. I do that a few times per day, and it's really liberating for me. It frees my mind up, because I said, well, first thing, when in the state of confusion, I need some clarity here. I need to know that all the answers are close by, or what we would call the answers are within. Once I get the answers, I got to be able to follow the instructions. Right now I need to be able to transform my behavior in many cases. And then after I do that, I can reap the fruits of my labor, the fruits of a planetary being, right? And so in talking about this, I want to touch on synchronicity, because you're going to find now more than ever, with the rise of AI, artificial intelligence, there's also another AI, absolute intelligence. One of them subscribes to programming, systemic programming, and the other deals with absolute intelligence and the nature of the mind. So synchronicity refers to the underlying cosmic intelligence linked to our cosmic memory that synchronizes people, places, things, and into a meaningful order. We experience synchronicity when an outer event corresponds with our inner thoughts, perception, or beings. Now, I want to adjust this a little bit, this definition, because when we realize that the outer event is corresponding with our inner thoughts, that's when we can change our life. That is not when the event corresponds with our inner thought. It always does. Our inner thoughts and feelings from those thoughts. The thought with feeling is what the outer event corresponds with. We can now say, wait a minute, that was a synchronicity. You know, wait a minute, that number showed up. Wait a minute, this is all happening at the same time. This is wild. And so what that does is it gets you to pay attention to your experience, day-to-day experience, a little bit differently, with the intention also that I'm evolved through this process. Very key. All right. And so the Synchronistic Human is the organization that I'm speaking from, is someone who's able to be multidimensional. That's necessary. This is not the end thing today. You have to be multidimensional in order to survive today, while unifying energy from the synchronicities of natural time cycles towards the holonomic evolution of humanity, Mother Earth, and the galactic whole. You cannot keep evolving and need to feel like you need to be validated. Once you understand who you are and whose you are, you don't need a validation. You know, you get a parking validation. Like, can you validate my parking? Like I live across the street from Whole Foods, and they say, sir, do you need your parking validated? That means that you're justified in parking there, and the parking is what? Complimentary of the establishment. Right? So in being validated, the self, the power of God already validates us, because we are here right now in this body, living in this reality. You are validated because you are here. And so therefore, you don't need any validation. All you have to do is get your parking validated based on where you're going to put your focus. And now you're in a position to exert your power in this aspect of your reality. It's time to learn how to become and learn how to remember how to become a synchronistic human. Because let me tell you something, linear minds and one-dimensional minds nowadays are going to be dealing with mental illness on an all-time high. because people are being spiritually bombarded. They're being emotionally bombarded. They don't have the emotional intelligence and fortitude to deal with extremely difficult situation that's pulling us in a lot of different directions at one time. It requires us to be multi-dimensional. The challenges that we're facing are different because technology is moving us and stretching us. Although it seems like it's helping and aiding us, it's causing our brains to atrophy in many ways. And without the proper exercise, this instrument we call a brain cannot process the consciousness and open your mind as a telepathic being, as an advanced mind being, as a being that's able to tap into more of this 100+ million years of memory. And believe me, when you remember who you are, now you become undeniable in that memory and that level of consciousness. All right. The last assignment that we had was on Ken 207, and it was to complete something that you had procrastinated with. Look at there. Procrastination is truly a dis-ease, because there's going to be some guilt going on in your mind about, hey, I could have done that. Why do I keep waiting to do something that don't take a long time to do and I could just get done? Sometimes we get busy, and sometimes I wait to do my slides. Sometimes the ideas just flow right before. I don't know what we would do without that 11th hour. If it wasn't for the 11th hour, it'd be a lot of things that wouldn't get done. Now I'm not saying we need to wait to the 11th hour. I'm glad we have it, because a lot of stuff I do probably wouldn't be seen or done. But what I like to do is I look at it, now Neb Teharka, why you all right. So one thing about it is, as we go through this process, we're in an incredible position, right, to realize these truths about our consciousness. And we don't need self-validation from someone outside the self, and I call the self the power of God in us, to access this memory, right? I would bet that we're not accessing 100 years of memory out of the 100 million. Can everybody hear me? Yeah, it looks like it kind of dropped off for a second. I'm dealing with an inconsistent signal here. Okay, great. Uh, and so I'm talking to you about this because we need to be working into how to access more of this. This is the secret to your success in any industry. This is the new conversation. It's not that's you're going to realize that you're a winner. You're going to realize that you are above and beyond where you thought you were. You're going to realize that, wait a minute, I can do this. In fact, I have done it before. So what happens is, when you play the vision in your mind and you look at visualizing, this is why visualization is so important. And like, let's just say I was running a race, and I was visualizing that I was running the race. And then as I was visualizing, I was feeling like I was actually running. And I could see myself striding past the people that were competing with me. All right. So I'm having a few connectivity issues with me. So just bear with me the best you can, because there's a message in here that can uplift you and change your life. Okay. So what I'm talking about is this memory and the vision, why the vision activates your memory. I'm gonna get back to the validation. We talked about parking validation, that what we need is to be validated so we can be what? Secure in what we do. And when we visualize, it triggers our memory. Listen, if you look at it from the absolute mind, everything has already happened. The past and the future have already happened. What you have right now is your presence and what you're going to focus on because of your purpose and your power of intention, with or without you realizing that purpose. Okay, so when we visualize with feeling, when we visualize and we see, oh man, you can see yourself going across that finish line, as I was saying earlier, and and then you realize, wait a minute, I just won this. I used to work out. I used to live a couple years in Minnesota, and one of the things that I wanted to do is I wanted to see if I could do physical training in when it was cold in the winter, and it'll be in the single digits, and then it'll get below zero, and I would train, and it was hard. Let me tell you something that happened though. It got real much easier and I got people that can validate this if I needed it, right? I got receipts, I got videos of me training in this stuff. When I sat and meditated in the elements, in the cold, and somehow running that I was planning on doing. Let me tell you something. When I started to physically do it, it was easier. You want to know why? It triggered my memory and said, you know what? You already know how to do this in the spirit. You from an energetic light body. That's what Flash. If you ever seen the superhero Flash, and you think he's running fast, no, he's thinking and seeing himself run that fast, and then now being able to actualize that in the physical. So it's very powerful, this power of visualization. So I never had it shared with me that this power of visualization activates memory, with putting back together all my circuits so I can focus and complete what I'm thinking about. It can inspire me. It can help me in the process of completing. Now I know I don't think, oh, I know I can do it. Okay. So with that being the case, I can tell you that this whole idea, I want to read the Ken here in just a moment. Let me see here where I can get some. Let's see if these are the correct slides here, because we're having a few things, a few technical challenges. Oh no, that's not it. Okay, so I want to be able to show you the attributes of this archetype that we're talking about today. And the archetype is the wizard. Now, we're in a wizard year, what we call it, and we're in a wizard kin. Now, if you don't know what that means, don't think that it's too hard for you to understand. You know, we don't want to rock you to sleep with ease. We want you to say, okay, wait a minute, this is something I need to learn about this. I need to learn whatever he's talking about. I need to know it so that I can see how I can use it myself. Right? And let's see here if I can do this really quickly. Let there be light. Yes, yes. Let's see. Uh, Washita Wellness Center says it is really a desire to get it done by the timeline I set. Absolutely, it comes in focus. I really want to work on and while I'm bringing these slides up, I want you to really think about when you purchase a computer. Do you purchase the computer that has the least amount of memory and the slowest processing speed? No. Do okay, smartphones. We're gonna get the next. Oh, they're coming out with the iPhone this or the Galaxy that. Okay. So are you looking for the most outdated version? Yeah, I got another phone. Photographic memory, pictures, right? They connect to your memory in ways that help you and inspire you to remember, oh, I've done that, or I was in that particular experience. And what I'm telling everybody here today is that one of the things that we have to get away from, right, in our experience, is we have to get away from the need to be needed. And that is the need to prove other people's not going to do what you're doing. What you're doing, it have any and some people, let me say, some people they won't endorse you because you can do it. They can't. They don't want. They don't want. We're unable to. We're seeking their validation. That's what we're doing, and we don't need. All right. Bear with me, y'all. We got an inconsistent signal here. So just hang in there. We're almost done here. All right. Am I being heard again on stream? Okay. All right. So I just finished the affirmation. Did you all hear the affirmation? Hear me say it? Somebody could indicate in the chat if you heard me say the affirmation, because we're dealing with receptivity. Okay, so I want to say it one more time for those who are on IG and that's with our app StreamYard and Facebook and YouTube. The affirmation, I'm just going to do it one time. We do it 3 times to lock it in, okay, to make it affirmative, right? The affirmation states, I organize in order to enchant, balancing receptivity. I seal the output of timelessness with the rhythmic tone of equality. I am guided by the output of timelessness, my own power doubled. I say, and I say, oh. All right. And so when we're putting out an expression of timelessness, we're saying that is unending evolution of consciousness that we have access to. So the only thing the cosmos does, and it's a great teacher, is continue to evolve into more universes, multiverses, galaxies, solar systems, et cetera, et cetera. You look at your body, that's how you got from where you are now to where you want to be. Right? And so the power in this is that when you realize that, again, why do we need to be validated? We already came here with 100 million years of memory. All we need to do is keep using more memory and not worry about what this person or that person has to say about what it is that we are doing. And we can provide our own critical analysis, and we can get a critical analysis for other people, but we don't necessarily need the approval of other people. And the reason why this is important, because this speaks to a self-esteem issue. This speaks to a self-confidence issue. And let me tell you something. People follow people with confidence before they even follow people with money. So one of the traits of leadership is just to be confident in your own experience, all right, and in your own right. So let's look at the 14th archetype, the white wizard. I'm going to read to you a little write-up on the white wizard. It says, I am the wizard, coded by the white wizard. 7 doubled is my number. Sign of my super mental absorption in the forces of cosmic creation. Within my crystal sphere is all that can be seen or known. Through your field of memory, you can see everything that's ever been seen or known. Through my supreme receptivity, I leave you the clues of resonant definition that you call time. Now, this is a big one because many of us are governing our life by artificial time. And in this, I leave you the codes, right, of resonant definition that you call time. Okay? Suspend all thought and enter with me into timeless enchantment of my oracle, the wizard's oracle, by which the dimensions are sewn together. My mind is the universe. My body is the world you see. My speech is the melodious sound of the natural world. My third eye is the triangulation of the body, speech, and mind. I am the giver of magical names. I hold the secret of the lost chord, the music of the spheres, the higher vibrations of cosmic law. To know me is to know the trees, for I am the movement and measure of the natural order, the Hunaku. The wizard is a very powerful energy and holarchic template of what we can become in the in the court of mind of intelligence, of cosmic intelligence. And when we tap into that sphere of mind, the sphere of consciousness that gives us access to it, this intelligence, we become very successful in our own right. All right. Okay. So also, let's look at the qualities of this archetype. This archetype, the positive attributes, is it deals with integrity, heart knowing, and divine will. And there's more, but these are the three that I'm going to talk about. All right. And with that, let's talk about the shadow. Now, the purpose, we've been on a series right now talking about shadow wisdom for the last couple of moons. Why do we talk about shadow wisdom? Because people want to ignore the blockages and just keep getting more knowledge and more intelligence. And it doesn't matter if you get a faster car, if you run into a wall, 18 foot thick wall, concrete wall, you're going to smash up no matter how fast the engine takes you. So it's not the speed of your learning at that point, it's where are the blockages and how can they be removed so you don't crash and burn, right? The shadow aspect of this archetype is just what we've been talking about. The need for approval and recognition. Now, I like to say it like this. Recognition is a very powerful thing because kids will cry for it and adults will die for it. Recognition. People leave relationships, they leave gym memberships, they leave churches, they leave schools, they leave institutions, all because they don't feel that they were properly recognized for their efforts. They don't feel appreciated. And so when you take somebody who lacks appreciation or doesn't feel like they're appreciated, they have an instant need for approval and to be validated because they're questioning their own value. The only time you need to be validated is when you don't think you're questioning your own value. Do I really fit here? Can I really complete the necessary tasks that I have set out to complete? And I'm telling you, it is so powerful when you realize I no longer need to be validated. How many of you, not you on this listening, but how many of you know somebody that needs approval or validation or recognition? And if they don't get it, they get down in the dumps and they move into the sunken place. And you know something about that sunken place? You can't attract high vibrational experiences while you're in the sunken place. And I don't care what level of the corporation you're on or your spirituality, there comes a time in the empty moments where we can temporarily get sucked into the sunken place. And in that moment, that's when the self-talk and self-validation comes in. Now, because I know it's going to happen, it's called difficulty and adversity. It's called fatigue and hunger will punk you into experiencing that at some point. Your health can go south and it can make you surrender in a different way and say, can I still do it? I got this issue. I got that issue. Am I a burden on people? So see, we've forgotten our value and we haven't gone through the healing process yet. When that happens, and it's going to happen at some points, because everybody experiences aging, everybody experiencing a self-doubt at some point. They may not say that and act that way in front of you, but when they all by themselves, they do. And when you do experience that, see, I already got a game plan for it. I already have what I call a self-validation process. And it goes a little something like this. If I wasn't validated for being here? What about all the training that I've been through? What about the countless hours? What about all the experiences that I have? What about the ability that I have to persevere over this problem and that problem? What about when I had nothing and I turned nothing into something? And so I start going back down memory lane and I start remembering all the times there were worse situations and I overcame. We all are overcomers if we choose to go back in our memory field and move the trauma out the way, move the disappointment out the way, and say, oh, there it is. That's when I won. That's when I triumphed. That's when I succeeded. And so if I did it once, family, doesn't it mean I can do it again? And I keep saying that to myself. Sometimes I have different challenges, but I say, wait a minute, to validate myself for being here. Did I already do this before? Is this something that's foreign to me? What was I doing when I was at my best? And then guess what? And I come out of the sunken place and I step out of the muck and the miry and I say, I am here. I have validated myself. I don't care what you say about my past. I don't care what they say about what they think my future is going to be. I'm here and I'm here to win. You have to have a way for self-validation to remind you that you wouldn't be here. And if you didn't have any challenges, I would be concerned. If somebody comes to me with a perfect deal, I'm concerned. Well, Neb Teharka, that's being negative. Well, there's something that's being hidden because there's a need and a purpose for a negative and a positive. And I need to see the balance of power between the two so I can see how I need to move forward with this endeavor. And I don't need to be naive and act like there isn't a ram in the bush to knock me off track. I'm counting on it. I just had the fortitude to say, well, if I get knocked off track, this is how I'm going to get back on track. Period. No matter how I feel, no matter where I am, no matter if I got a little bit of strength or a lot of strength, I know the power of restoration will bring me to where I need. That there's unlimited energy in the world and in this experience. That there's unlimited memories that I can tap into and inspire me to operate at a higher level of consciousness. And therefore, the only thing that can stop me is me and my need to have something from someone else that I already have within myself. And if you ever get into that position, you all know people like this. You know people that need approval and recognition. And while you're recognizing them for their achievements, whether it's your children, whether it's a friend or a family member, even a parent, sometimes mothers need to hear, Mom, you are a great mom. I love you. Fathers need to hear, Dad, I couldn't do it without you. Grandma, you're always there for me when nobody else can be there. Granddad, you showed me principles and wisdom that I didn't know. And they need to hear it too. But guess what? They don't need it to be validated. They just need it to know that they're putting their energy and their efforts in the right people, places, and things to give their life meaning that's different than validation. And I'm telling you to work on ways from this conversation to help you validate yourself. Can we do this? Can we do this? I know we can do it, right? So a couple more things before we go. And we're going to take a few questions here, right? All right. So the assignment is think of some situations. Here's how you get good with self-validation, right? Think of some situations you could be more transparent with. So this is a very proactive approach to self-validation. You see? You know, that like this, you know, hey, you know, if you use something of someone else's and you break it, right? And you come up and you say, listen, thank you. I use this item that you gave me, but actually I broke it. It's broken right here. It's coming off right here. And I wanted you to know, and this is what I'm gonna do about it. You see? This is what I'm gonna do to fix it. Yeah, I messed up, but this is what I'm gonna do to fix it. Listen, you need to know my background. I've had some occurrences like this, that, and the other that might bring reasonable doubt to you about maybe even working with me. But I want you to know, so when it comes up later, it don't mess up with your mess with your head and your thought process about what we got going on. And you know, that person that said, you know what, he didn't have to tell me that, but he did. I'm gonna keep a close eye on him, but I'm gonna keep working with him. Right? Let me tell you, being more transparent is showing confidence, and it's eliminating the idea that you need validation. You see, transparency is power. And that'll help you alleviate the need for approval or validation because you are governing yourself with your own transparency. Because now you're making yourself accountable, right? To fix or say, hey, this time I'm doing something different. Sometimes it's not just bad. It's that, hey, I've already been successful with this. So I don't want to sit off in a cut and make you think I don't already know what's going on. I'm very experienced. I'm very seasoned at this. So I want you to know who you sit next to and how I could help you if needed. I like the doctor said, confide, tell the truth, and shame your devils. Absolutely. All right. So these are some things. Let's go over some quick announcements. I don't have the visual aids because we have a inconsistent signal here, so we're not going to blow out the signal. But tomorrow we have the new kin orientation. Now let me tell you something. If you're new or you run across this and you don't have your kin number and you don't understand your galactic purpose, it's really hard to fulfill your earthly destiny when you don't know your galactic purpose. So you definitely need to plug in tomorrow night. You can message me. You can email me. How do I get into new kin orientation? It's a free session that can give you some insight and some perspectives that will change your life forever. Will change your life forever. So definitely make sure you plug into that. Also, I want to personally invite you all to our 260 kin quantum leap check-in. Now, the 260 kin is the 260 faces of the creator. And I want you to participate with me in activating this whole new consciousness in the new time. We are clearly moving out of the information age into the telepathic age. And I'm going to tell you something. Evolution is the solution. And if we don't keep evolving, we will be trapped in the artificial matrix of time, and we won't be able to access the greatest aspects of our power. All right. And so those are the two events. They're both fun events. All right. This Thursday, we have the new kin orientation. This Friday, we have the new kin orientation check-in. And we're going to get together on one big one in order to have a meditation in July on the actual kin 260, that actual kin. If you don't understand it, don't worry about it. It feels good, go with it. All right. But I'm telling you, it's all about expanding our mind. What they say, once your mind has been stretched, you can never go back. It can never go back to its original state. Right? So get plugged in. Get plugged in. This is the time for you to discover things. Release and let go your limitations. Release and let go of your blockages. Release and let go the need for approval and let people know, just in case you didn't know, I'm already validated, verified, and certified. I'm here to help. I'm here to win. I'm here to give my best effort. I'm here to display excellence in a way you haven't seen before. Now you just have to perform and do it. All right, let's take some questions real quick before we go ahead and move out. How many of you have any questions about this whole ideal about needing for approval and recognition, and how that's been a detriment in your life when it comes to how people may manipulate you, right? By knowing that you have a need to be needed, that you have a need for approval. I see children do it all the time to their parents, right? Because we oftentimes parents are even seeking validation from their children because they want their children, to like them and to have a good experience most of the time. And this is okay, right, Timmy? Right? So does anybody have any questions about this or been affected by this? Because I want to make it clear the time is now. This is something that we have to dissolve and release. And this moon shows us how to do that. Next time we talk, it would be kin number 221, Thought Seed Doctor. And that's going to be the last time of this moon that we talk, this solar cycle, about what we need to dissolve and release. This whole thing about needing approval, we have to let it go. We have to let it go. And so what let me help y'all out, because you got to get good. It's the person that asks the questions that controls the conversation. The person who knows why will always employ the people who know how. So the question is that I would be asking is, let's say at my job, I've been passed over for promotions. I'm not feeling fulfilled in my job anymore. And I'm a little gun shy now. I got downsized from my last company and this one ain't working out. I kind of need that validation to see I'm going in the right direction. What do you suggest? All right. So I'm going to answer Brother Akil's question here in just a second. Well, what I suggest in that sense, that scenario I just gave you, is what are your skill sets? What is your skill set looking like? Why are you in the field that you're in? Okay, if it's just for money, oftentimes you're going to be here today and gone tomorrow, whether you leave or they get rid of you, right? But when we're going through the different shifts of companies, there's downsizing and right sizing and all this other kind of stuff. It's not the company. It's here for you to develop the skill sets that's transferable, skills that are transferable in multiple industries, and that give you the experience to make things happen. I call it learning the business inside the business. Right? But a lot of people just do, you think about it, when you work for companies, a lot of people, they don't look at it as a perspective of a consultant. They say, I'm gonna only work hard enough so they don't fire me. And the company says, I'm only gonna pay you enough so you won't quit. So it's something called a fair day of work for a fair pay, right? And when you move into excellence, I like it. I'm here to exemplify excellence by Washita Wellness Center. Absolutely. If excellence and average is on the table, which one you gonna pick? And if you have an opportunity to be excellent at something, be excellent and they're gonna pick you too. So I don't worry about what companies and industries and politics are doing. I just look at how do I continue to strengthen myself and make myself better. So I don't need the approval, because once somebody sees that you're in need, oftentimes they'll use and abuse that privilege. They'll leverage you. They'll remind you, you know, you got that promotion because I took a chance on you, right? And that doesn't make us feel very well. So there's a very manipulative tactics out here about this, using this need for approval in an incorrect way. Okay. A brother Kill from Clubhouse said, any tips or suggestions for better visualization? Well, absolutely. You one of the things about it with visualization, it's like you watching your own movie. But here's the thing: you ever watch a movie and it was so intense, you felt like you were in it. I mean, it was like, whoa, I can feel that. I remember when I watched the movie years ago, Malcolm X, and I was young, I was in the military, and the feeling of it, now I felt like I was there. It was just mind-boggling. So you want to create the feeling of visualization as this is actually happening. And here's another thing: you have to see yourself in the vision. So when you're visualizing, visualize with a purpose. Why am I visualizing this? Because we want to create it. We want to inspire ourselves to tap into our memory so that we can focus our will, and we can either create it or we can attract it. Right? But what I found is really helpful is feeling, getting in the feeling place of the vision. I can feel it. I can say the vision. And the big thing that I see people miss is the part where they don't see themselves in the vision. They see the vision, but they don't see themselves in the vision. And so they'll see other people that got what they want. And that's not what we want. We want to get what we want. All right? All right. Talk about energy vampires. How the energy vampires may make use of people who need validation. Oh yeah, that's a good one. The thought seed doctor. People prey on people. So if you have good energy and you're positive all the time, you're gonna attract people that's not that way, and they're gonna be using you and your energy to keep them going. Now they're not willing to get their own good energy. All right. But they will use you. They will try to get you to use all your energy up so they won't have to do anything. And all they need to know is that you need validation and approval. And once they figure that out, they're gonna use and abuse you to the fullest. It's like putting use and abuse me on my forehead. Okay. And so we got to be really careful with that. Really careful with that. Because, a lot of times when you show want or need, people tend to use and abuse you. And so you already need to be validated within yourself that I already can do this. I don't need to work with you. I want to work with you. That's different. I don't need you. I want you. That's different. Okay? Because once somebody knows that you need them, they start acting different. And that'll make you feel good, especially if you know you need them. Because you ain't worked on yourself, so you don't need them. Okay? So good question. It says, visualize wealth and put yourself in the picture. Absolutely. I mean, we have to see ourselves in that position. And I'll tell you something else with the visualization that really helps with the validation as well. You have to have the self-image of an overcomer already. You have to know and see yourself that no matter how I'm feeling, what ailments I have, I'm already able to accomplish this with what I have right now. Because you know why? People have accomplished more than you with less knowledge, less money, less abilities, more problems. So you have to, if they've done it, all you need to know is they've done it. If somebody it's been done. And all you need to know is it's possible. And if it's possible, then it can happen for you. Somebody did it with worse circumstances than you. Well, I've had 2 knee surgeries, and sometimes I sit up here and I say, man, these knee surgeries, man, just makes it hard for me to run. And then I see somebody with 2 prosthetic legs running at the park. I complained about my shoes until I saw the man that had no feet. Okay, so absolutely, you have to already see yourself, no matter what it is that I have the capability right now to achieve this goal. Not one day I will, because you don't know when that one day is going to be. One day ain't on the calendar. Right now, I got everything. And let me tell you, it boils down to willingness and desire and focus. He or she who focuses the most at the highest frequency is going to always win. Ashe? So this is a good session. I wanted to definitely apologize for some of the technical difficulties, but I'm telling you, we got to get past this need for validation. We're validated because we're here, and we have a huge opportunity that when we start validating ourselves, that means we can succeed against all odds. I highly recommend to get you a dose or 2 of that. And once you do, you'll never go back to please validate me. I'm already validated. Approve me. I've already approved myself. Far beyond the standard of what somebody else could approve. You see? So with that being said, thank you for watching. We'll be on kin number 221, right? And it's going to be really good. We are moving all the way through to kin 260. Once we get through with that, we'll be done with the Shadow Wisdom series, and we'll be moving into another series. All right, so with that being said, remember, evolution is the solution. Don't forget about the new kin orientation tomorrow. Don't forget about the check-in tomorrow. If you got any questions, please reach out to me. It's vital. And I definitely will say evolution is the solution. And in Lakesh, Alakina, I'm another you and you're another me. All right. So with that being said, we'll see you next time on Synchronistic Talk. And I look forward to seeing some of you in the new kin orientation and the galactic kin check-in. Peace.
It's just different.
I am the world changer, coded by the blue storm. My number is 19, the power of all number. I am the master alchemist, the force behind the philosopher's stone. Skilled at the art of transmutation. I am the catalytic transformer of world consciousness and planetary living. I oversee the changes of the weather. I am the thunder that shatters your world systems. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies. It was I who caused the triple Aztec monuments of the Avatar archetype to appear in the ancient temple grounds. I oversee the morning and the evening stars. I behold the creator of the fifth sun, the present world. Sent forth am I to dwell among you, calling forth a sixth sun. For the great regeneration of the world's soul, to know me is to know your own power of self-generation. To know me is to know your own power of self-generation. Self-generation is power. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies.